My name is Vanessa Cole. For much of my life, I thought adaptability was a strength. I believed that fitting in would prevent me from being left behind. So I adapted. I changed my tone based on my surroundings, my opinions depending on my audience, and my needs according to those I valued more. I became skilled at reading others, their moods, their silences, their expectations. However, I never learned how to understand myself. At work, I blended in. I was never too loud or too ambitious, just useful enough to remain. In relationships, I constantly adjusted my desires to maintain peace. People called me easygoing, but they didn't see how often I returned home exhausted from being a version of myself that others wanted. Everything shifted when someone asked me a simple question. What do you actually want? I had no answer, not because I didn't care, but because I had conditioned myself to want what was acceptable. This realization weighed heavily on me. I began to notice how often I agreed to avoid conflict, smiled to soften disappointment, and said it's fine when it wasn't. I decided to try something different. I stopped adjusting automatically. I paused before responding, allowed silence, and let awkwardness remain unresolved. The reactions were immediate. Some people leaned in, while others leaned away or became uncomfortable with my new approach. This discomfort revealed a truth, while adaptability kept me included. It didn't earn me respect. I established a new principle. I would no longer exchange authenticity for acceptance. I spoke more slowly, said no without a smile, and allowed misunderstandings rather than exhausting myself with explanations. It felt risky, as if I might lose everything. Instead, I lost very little and gained something valuable: stability. I stopped trying to fit in and stood firm in my identity, allowing alignment to take precedence. Not everyone remained in my life, but those who did saw me for who I truly am. This clarity is something I will never compromise again.